Hi everyone, I'm Brandon and welcome back to News4Teens. Last Friday, President Joe Biden issued two proclamations to commemorate Indigenous Peoples Day as well as Columbus Day, both of which are being celebrated today on October 11th, the second Monday of October. In this video, I'll share some of the key points from each of these proclamations, the significance of Indigenous Peoples Day, and why Columbus Day has been controversial. On October 8th, President Biden became the first U.S. president to issue a proclamation observing Indigenous Peoples Day. He stated, "The contributions that Indigenous peoples have made throughout history in public service, entrepreneurship, scholarship, the arts, and countless other fields are integral to our nation, our culture, and our society. Today, we acknowledge the significant sacrifices made by Native peoples to this country and recognize their many ongoing contributions to our nation." In the U.S., indigenous groups include American Indians, Alaska Natives, Native Hawaiians, and other Pacific Islanders. Indigenous Peoples Day honors the first inhabitants of what is now the United States of America and celebrates their contributions. It also acknowledges the wrongs they've suffered, including federal policies that systematically sought to assimilate and displace Native peoples and eradicate their cultures over generations. In making his proclamation, President Biden states that today is about recognizing Indigenous peoples' resilience and strength, and recommits the nation to supporting a brighter future of promise and equity for tribal nations. President Biden also makes a point to recognize the inherent sovereignty of Indigenous peoples and commits to honoring the federal government's trust and treaty obligations to tribal nations. Today is also Columbus Day. According to the Congressional Research Service, when Congress officially made Columbus Day a federal holiday, it believed that the nation would be honoring the courage and determination which enabled generations of immigrants from many nations to find freedom and opportunity in America. In parts of the U.S., Columbus Day is also a way to honor Italian Americans. Under the flag of Spain, Christopher Columbus was the first of many Italian explorers to arrive in what would later become known as the Americas. But the legacy of Christopher Columbus has been debated for decades, as many people associate the explorer with atrocities brought against indigenous people. In President Biden's proclamation on Columbus Day, he stated, "We acknowledge the painful history of wrongs and atrocities that many European explorers inflicted on tribal nations and indigenous communities. It is a measure of our greatness as a nation that we do not seek to bury these shameful episodes of our past, that we face them honestly, we bring them to the light, and we do all we can to address them." More than 100 cities and a number of states have replaced Columbus Day with Indigenous Peoples Day. In some places, both holidays continue to be celebrated. As President Biden wrote, "Today, let this day be one of reflection on America's spirit of exploration, on the courage and contributions of Italian Americans throughout the generations, on the dignity and resilience of tribal nations and indigenous communities, and on the work that remains ahead of us to fulfill the promise of our nation for all." Thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something new.